coming up, we're gonna make the cutest little gift basket, and it's beginner friendly too.
Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Me and my friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. Don't call or text me, it's about to begin. I've been patient, time for me to chime in. Comfy clothes on, feeling just fine. I'm busy right now, it's crafting show time. My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you'll never...
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, gifted crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. This is the channel where we just talk about everything crafting. So if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and we just have tons of fun together. So if you're into sewing, knitting, crocheting, quilting, and all kinds of crafts, you're definitely in the right place. Go ahead and put your name in the chat. Say hello. Let us know if you're here for the first time. Other than that, our seasoned little community out there, good morning. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. We are ready here, and it is the week of Christmas. So I'm sure you guys have been so busy, just like all of us, all weekend long, finishing up those gifts and doing those last minute touches. So we have a couple little things we're going to show you today, and maybe you need something to put those gifts in. So that's the little fabric basket that we're going to be making today. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's see who we have with us today. We'll start off with Petita Pink. Good morning. We've got Barb from Illinois. We've got Jenny Owens. Good morning. JBL, good morning to you. Faker McFake, ready for another amazing day. We've got Deborah from New Mexico. We've got Lisa Lilly from Richmond, Illinois. Got our friends from Canada here, yay! We've got Lori from Virginia and Cindy, good morning. Tina, good morning to you. Let's see, Barbara Nance, good morning from Ohio. We've got Annette from Very Cold, Connecticut. Oh boy, and happy holidays to you as well. Let's see, we've got Robin's Quilt Basket. Good morning. We've got Deborah V721. Good morning, Nancy. She's from Boston. Let's see, trying to go through the chat. Cheryl, good morning. We've got Flo, good morning to you. Yeah, busy, huh? Lori, good morning to you, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Crafting on a Dime with Shay Shay, good morning. We've got Marge, good morning to you. Let's see, Quilting with Harriet, good morning. Oh boy, the dogs were up early this morning. Oh boy. They're just getting excited for Christmas. Becky, good morning from North Texas. And Melinda, good morning to you. And Kathy, good morning to you as well. Okay, guys, if I missed your name, I'm sorry. I'll try to keep checking back in the chat in case you have questions or any other comments come up. And as I said, we're going to be making a fabric gift basket today. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Quick and easy, something that you can put your projects in and adds a little bit of a personal touch to it. But before we do all of that, let's go ahead and do our toast, because if you're new to the channel, I like to start off all my sessions with a nice little toast in the morning. So let's go ahead and raise those glasses, and we're going to toast to just, having a great week. We've got Christmas, it's around the corner, and I'm hoping you're getting everything done, and hopefully it's stress-free. So let's go ahead and raise those glasses, a cup of whatever it is you have in the morning. There's no judgment here. If you don't have something, no worries. We'll go ahead and pour you a cup. All right, cheers, good morning, and cheers to everyone. Let's go ahead and grab that little swivel here. Oh boy, some people are really needing that coffee, huh? Baker McFake wants the coffee, okay. Oh no, the grandkids got you sick. Oh, well, I hope you feel better soon. Okay, how about we grab some snacks, shall we? Because, Faker McFake's not feeling too great. Maybe he needs a snack. Maybe she just loves snacks all over the place, and we might have something that'll make you feel better on that food truck. So let's go on over and let Faker Big Fake, let her go in the beginning of the line, okay, guys? She's not feeling too good. All right, let's go. We're gonna roll out that food truck, and we've got all kinds of things, and hopefully it'll be something in there to make you feel better. Let's see, we've got cinnamon rolls in there. We've got cookies and tea and water and soda and croissants. And Baker McFake, if you don't feel like kind of walking out to the food truck, we'll kind of deliver it over to you with the drone. So no worries about that, okay? All right, yeah, you can't cut you, right? It's too funny. All right, so everyone's got their snacks, they've got all their drinks in place, and I hope you're in your nice little cozy spot or a little safe place to watch, because we're ready to get rolling here, and we've got a lot to do. So we're gonna make this little fabric gift basket that I kind of threw together. There's no pattern or anything that I followed. It was just something kind of just playing around, and I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to put this together and do it this way, and then at the end of the day ended up with this little basket, and I thought it was cute, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. So this is completely off the cuff, but I have a little nice boxed bottom over here, which makes it nice and flat, which makes it very easy to be able to put things in. I have a beautiful curve right here, which I thought was gorgeous, and you can kind of fold it up. So if you wanted to kind of make this a little bag, you can do it this way so that you have the little curve. Or what I like to do is just kind of fold the front, that way it shows the gift a little bit more. You can put some tissue paper here and then just put your little project or whatever it is, the little gift, right in the front. So it looks really nice, and I think it's really great to kind of just stick things in. You've got a lot of space in here, and again, it's a nice boxed bottom, so that's really neat. And the sides are pretty easy to do. They are open here, but you can close them up completely if you wanted to. I just did a little machine stitch here on the side, but you can also hand stitch them as well. So lots of different things that you can use this for and different ways to make it. And I'm just going to show you the easiest thing to do. Now, what can you put in here? Oh, you can put little dollies. You can put anything in here. Just imagine the tissue paper kind of popping out and then the little product in the front. So it's something that you handmade. It can be something that you store bought. Maybe you're just looking to put something in and display it. Really, really cute, and it really adds a little extra under the tree because you can use your favorite fabrics as well. If you wanted to embroider a name on here, you can do that too, or down on the bottom. There's plenty of places on here where you can customize, whether it be in the front or on the little cuff here in the front here, or back here. You can put a name. You can use your favorite fabric, your favorite sports fabric. If they have a favorite team, you can get some fabric for that, or maybe their favorite cartoons or things like that. So many things. Yeah, great for candy, great for little stuffing, little anything, you know, cookies, homemade items, little cookies and cakes and things like that you like to gift out. You can put them on those little clear baggies and then just kind of stuff them here sticking out. Really, really nice. You know, this is a very, very pretty design. So let me move this over to the desktop. You can see it a little bit closer. Again, here is, you've got a pretty big opening here. You guys see that? It's pretty deep, so you'll have a nice size here. Okay, and I just love the curve. The curves are really beautiful, and you see the curves, and I know some of you are cringing like, oh, I don't know about the curves. They were really easy to do, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so let's get started on this. So the first thing I did is I had a bolt of fabric that's been sitting in my stash for over a year now. Still have some left, but I just wanted to do something with it. So definitely this is a nice fabric scrap buster. You have one that you use for fabric scrap. Yeah, fabric scraps and loose threads. Absolutely. Absolutely, you can use it for that. Yes, awesome. Okay, so let me grab a couple of things that I have back here that I'm going to be using. So here is the fabric. I went ahead and I cut it just to save us some time. So here is, oh, is that ruler causing a glare? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's the fabric that I cut out, and I cut it, I believe it was, yeah, 13 inches by the width of the fabric. So we have a very nice long piece that's going to give you two, if I can get this right, here we go. It's going to give you two pieces. Now, I am using, for my exterior fabric and my interior fabric, I'm using the same exact fabric because I wanted it to be the same on the outside and then popping out on the inside. But if you wanted to change it up and give yourself a pop of color, you can pick your outside fabric, and then your interior fabric could be a different color. And then when you fold it over, you're going to have a different color fabric here. So if you wanted to give a little bit of an offset, you can definitely do that and have two colors that are going to be offsetting each other. That would look really nice and also give it just a little bit extra. I just kept it really simple, wanted to use up this fabric, so I went ahead and kept it the same. But you can definitely pick contrasting fabric and it will look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so we've got our fabric. We're cut at 13 inches wide by the length of the bolt. Boy, I'm having a hard time thinking today. Okay, and then all I did was fold it in half. You can see the selvage here on the bottom. And so we're not even going to bother cutting off this selvage, you know. We're going to just go ahead and leave it because it's going to be cut off anyway. Faker My Face, she said, I made planter bags using landscape fabric, so much cheaper than buying the bags. That's true, yes. And you can definitely put something like that in here, but you would want, for plants, you know, you're going to be watering them and stuff. So you would want water to drain and things like that. But maybe after you've done that, once they're dried, you can put them in here for show. And that would be another beautiful way you can use that up. Definitely. Okay, so we've got this fabric here, and I'm also going to be using this ruler. Now, this was by simplicity.com, but you don't have to use this ruler. I'm just using it because I have it. But if you have a paper plate or just a plate that has that round surface, that's all you need. So you can grab a plate or anything round that has the size that you want. This one is going to give me about a 10-inch half circle here. And so that's what I'm going to use to make the curve here. And the way I'm going to do this is it's kind of like a twofold project, because once I make this cut, you're going to see, well, I can actually even make a little table runner with just this, but I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So I have this 13-inch by the width of the fabric, right? I've got it folded here, and I've got my selvage here on the end. I'm going to take my ruler, and I am going to, let me set this over to the side for right now, just so you can see this first. So I'm going to lay this here, and I've got my little half circle ruler here, and I'm going to try to put it up towards the top as much as I can, just to kind of take advantage of as much fabric as I have. Now, this is a 10-inch half circle. I cut my fabric at 13 inches, so I gave myself a little bit of leeway. You don't have to give yourself so much. If you want, you can cut it at 12 inches, and then that will be a little bit closer. I just like to give myself a little extra room. So if you don't want to cut at 13 inches, you can cut at 12 inches. You are using a 10-inch, you know, it depends on the width of your circle. So you can make it as wide or as narrow as you want. So just note that. And then once I have this in place, I'm just going to stick this right here about in the middle, and I'm going to take my rotary cutter and I'm just going to follow the little slot all the way around to make this half circle. I'm only going to use half, okay? We're not going to do a complete circle. We're just doing half. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to use my little rotating mat underneath it, because I think it'll make it a little bit easier for me, especially since I'm down here sitting. So let's do this. Now I have all this selvage here that I know I don't want to include, so I'm going to just take it down a little bit here and then just kind of put that somewhat in the middle. Now if you want to fold your fabric in half and find your center and then just kind of finger press it, you can do that as well. Okay, if you want to make sure that you're right in the center. If you didn't give yourself enough room, you may want to do that just to make sure that you're right at the center. And so here, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, bring this to about here. And I think that'll be good. And then let me grab my rotary cutter and I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to have to stand up for just a little bit. So guys, excuse me. Well, we can do the overhead. You can see me cut it. Okay. So I'm going to bring this over. Make sure I am somewhat in the center here. And I want to make sure that I am not, I'm going to kind of try to line this up here on my cutting board, because I don't want to cut like this, right? You don't want your circle going off the wrong way, right? So we want to straighten this out and kind of make sure you're somewhat aligned. This is not anything exact. And then once you are there, just hold it down, and then we're going to be cutting this. And I'm just going to rotate this a little bit here towards me so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. And then we're going to try to cut this off. Now, this is a rotating mat, so it makes it a little bit easier for me to just rotate it. And then you want to just continue the rest of the way. And I like to kind of give it a little pull just to see that everything got cut off. Let me see, is there anything here? I think we're good on this side. I just like to tug, tug, tug. Now, if for some reason there's some place that did not cut, I still haven't lifted my ruler, so I'm okay to kind of recut here. Or you can just take it out and then do it freehand when you pull it out. Okay, so let's do that. Let's see how we did. Okay, not too bad on this side. This one has, oh, I just needed to pull it. So it looks like we're okay here. Got little tiny pieces. So, you know, it's not a perfect job, but it's good enough. And I got a couple threads right here that didn't come off. Okay. So now let me just take a look here. And I'm not liking how this side came out because it did not cut all the way through. So I'm just gonna freehand it a little bit and that will be just fine. So you can see when I pull this back now, I've got my little half circle here. So I'm good to go there. So now I'm just gonna take this, move my rotating mat away, and I'm gonna grab a larger ruler and I'm just gonna bring this all the way down and just cut off these sides right here. So let me just grab that ruler because I had to put it away because these big rulers take up so much space. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna line this up and I'm gonna look at the bottom of my fabric on the fold here. And I'm just gonna line it up with my cutting mat to make sure that I am nice and straight. And then I'm gonna line it up and just do a nice straight cut. And you wanna make sure you're on the edge, right on the edge, so that right where your fabric is cut on the circle, you wanna line that up with your edge on your cutting mat. That way you're just bumped up right on that edge there. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, cut the rest of it off. I just changed the blade, so I'm probably not putting enough pressure on it, but there we go. Okay, so you see that now I have a nice continuous line going all the way down. And then I'm gonna turn this and do the exact same thing. So here's my little circle, that's where it's ending. So this little edge is what I am going to line up. And then I'm gonna make sure, you bring this down so you can see this here. There we go. I'm gonna make sure that my line here is lined up with my cutting mat. So I get a nice box is basically what I'm looking for. A nice little box right here that's going to cut all the way through. And then I'm just going to line that up with my ruler. And then go ahead and make the cut. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So we have a little bit of excess and that's okay. And so now throw this excess to the side. You can discard it. You can find something to do with it later. You're going to end up with this piece. That's your selvage. We don't need that as well. So we'll discard that. And you're going to be left with this right here, which if you open it up, this would be a beautiful table runner, right? And you have that nice circle. So you could lay that out as a beautiful table runner right there. So if you wanted, if you were looking to do something like that, you can easily do that right here by just opening it up and you have a beautiful table runner with a really nice curve and you can embroider on it. And then you can cut another piece out with a different fabric and you'll have a beautiful table runner right there. So there's one idea, but we're going to be doing the fabric bag. So what we need to do is now do the other side. So we have this side. The curve is absolutely gorgeous. I want to leave these two together because I'm going to use the same fabric. So I'm doubling mine up. If you're using a different fabric, you don't have to cut that much of it, right? So you would only need to cut, let's see, about 20.5 inches instead of doing the width of the fabric, right? So whatever it is that you decide to use is what you would cut. So now let's go ahead and cut the other side because we've got a beautiful curve here on one end. I want to do the same thing on the other side. So what I'm going to do is now line this up. And if you'd like, you can kind of take this, if you're freehanding it, you can kind of bring it up here. And if you feel comfortable enough, you can freehand this and then just kind of cut this little excess off yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and just use the ruler. So a lot of people are not comfortable with freehanding it, and it's totally fine. So I'm going to line this up here, and I'm going to get it as close as I can to the top because I don't want to have so much excess. So I want to line this up and then just kind of do this here and line it up here as best I can. Now you're going to notice since we cut the sides off already, this is going to be coming right off to the edge, which is what we want because we want it to show a nice smooth curve. If you're not so comfortable with cutting curves, what you can do is cut the two end pieces and then cut the excess off. It's totally up to you. Okay, so I'm going to cut this piece off. So I'm going to bring my rotary mat back over here. Line this up here. And then since I'm left-handed, I'm going to move it this way. Just easier for me. And line it up. Okay. And I'm going to stand up again just so that I can see both sides. So pardon for that. Let's see, we will have it about, I think that's about right. And I'll grab my blade here. I'm going to move it over to the side here. And I think I want to adjust it just a tad. Yeah, that's about right. And then I can just hold it, add a little pressure, just try to get into the slots. That's why I'm using a 60 millimeter just to get into the slots a little bit easier. Try not to move this so much. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side. And I believe that has cut everything off. So I'm good here. Whoops. And of course I dropped my blade. Sorry, hang on one second, guys. Yeah, not good to drop my blade, but I did. Okay, I'm gonna just snip this little piece off that did not come off, and I'm not too worried about that. And this is just the excess you're gonna have, so not too much left. Okay, so now if you're looking to make a shorter table runner, you can actually do this right here, and you have a beautiful little kind of placemat table runner little centerpiece that you can make as well. So this thing has like multiple things that you can make with this, and you can actually embroider on the sides. You can do beautiful things with this, right? And so I picked the same fabric, so it's going to be the same both sides, but you can pick multiple fabrics, right? So you can do that. Now, if you look at this basket, the problem that we're going to have right off the bat is if you look, this is just plain old cotton. It's very, it's not stiff at all, right? It's very loose. It's not going to stay up the way we need it. So we need to add some type of a stabilizer to it. So I am using, for this project, it's by Pellon. It's called Fusible Fleece. And this is going to add a little bit of stiffness to the project so that my basket stays nice and tall. Okay, that's going to give it what it needs for it to kind of take its shape. And so I like this one. It's a low loft. It's 100% polyester, and it'll give it just enough for the basket to stand up on its own, but yet it's not going to be very crunchy or hard. It's still very loose, very soft, and you can fold it up and put it away and use it for another time. So it gives it the stability that it needs to be able to hold up and stand up on its own to form its shape, but yet it still has that nice softness to it. Okay, and so this is a fusible, and so it does have the little glue dots on one side. Okay, and then this is what we're going to use on the back of one of our fabrics to be able to get it to give it that type of shape that we need for it to stand up on its own. Okay, so what we're going to need is to cut out a little piece of this, and I've got some here that we can use. And so now you have your two pieces of fabric, whether you have your exterior and your interior, or like me, if you decided to use the same one on both sides, that's fine too. I'm just gonna lay this right on top here, and I'm just gonna go ahead, align it up to the edge if I can, and then I am just going to cut off the excess. I only need one piece. I don't need two, I just need one piece of the fusible fleece that will be the same size. So I'm just going to freehand it, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm not too worried about getting this perfect because, again, this is just the fusible, and we're just going to be ironing this on to give it a little bit more stability. And so I'm just going to keep going around and get as close as I can. And then just go round and round. And when you get to the edges, makes it a little bit easier here. Now you just have to go straight down. And I try to get as close as I can to the fabric because I don't want those glue dots to get on my iron. I want them to be underneath the fabric. So I just get as close as I can to it. But you can also just kind of rough cut it around and then just go around and snip off any pieces that are sticking out. You can kind of do it that way too. Okay. Here we go. Little stubborn piece that doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay. And just rough cutting it. There we are. And I think that'll just about do it. Little stubborn pieces here and there. Okay. So now we have our fusible fleece here, and we've got our exterior fabric and an interior fabric all cut out in the same way with the curves on the edge. Okay. So now if I measure this, this is measuring at about 10.5 inches here. So you see where you can save a little bit if you're tight on fabric, you can save a little bit on the edge. Since I was just kind of making this as I go, I wasn't following any kind of a pattern that have measurements or anything like that. So I was just kind of guessing on what would look right, because I did want it to come up with a reasonable bottom, boxed bottom here. And so 13 inches is what I started off with. And the circular ends are at 10 inches. And this is about what I came up with, which is about, if I were to measure the bottom, you're looking at about a 5-inch box on the bottom here. Okay, so that's what we have here. Now what we'll need to do is go ahead and fuse this fusible fleece to the bottom of one of my fabrics here. So I'm going to take this one out here that's in the middle, and then I'm going to go ahead and line up my fusible fleece with my exterior fabric. So you want your exterior to be attached to the fusible fleece, not your interior. And if you have trouble lining it up, use your fingernails to kind of just scratch it into place. And so you can, that kind of helps out to kind of move the fabric a little bit when you just have to kind of adjust it just a tad. Just use your fingernails to scratch it into place, and that really helps out. And so there we are. We've got our exterior with our fusible. So let's grab our iron and fuse this into place. Okay. Let me go ahead and plug this in. All right. Now it's a pretty big surface, so I'm going to bring out my larger wool mat to kind of help us out with this. Put that in place. And you want to make sure that your fusible fleece has two sides. You've got the soft side, and then you have the side with the glue dots. That feels a little bit scratchy. Those are the glue dots that are going to be adhesed to the fabric. And so I just want to make sure that everything's in place, and I'm waiting for my iron to just kind of heat up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and fuse this into place. Let's see here. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay. Now you see I have a lot of little things, little new things on my desk. If you guys didn't notice, yay. So on Saturday, we were opening up more of our Missouri Star Christmas box items. Really neat. I love, they have all kinds of little accessories. We had a great time on Saturday just opening up the little gifts to see what was in there. So a couple of surprises on there, which is pretty cool. Okay, this is nice and hot. So I am ready to now adhere this over to my fabric, but I want to start in the center. So you want to start off in the center and then work your way out. That way, that will eliminate any bubbles or anything that you'll have in the middle. And so just go ahead, let the heat soak through that fabric so that it will pick up those glue dots and basically stick your exterior fabric to that fusible fleece. And so you just kind of work your way out. You start in the center and you work your way out. And that will eliminate, again, any bubbles or anything like that. And you'll have a nice, flat, smooth surface there. So let's go ahead. And then you can kind of just test it. You know, you can look. You can see some of it here. I've got my little ends that not all of it has been fused yet. So I got to get over to my ends here and give it some time for the heat to go through so that it really will put the two together. Okay. Try not to rush this step because you want to make sure that this stays together. This is what's really going to help your basket to stand up. Okay, I think we're good. And you can try to just lift it, go around the edges and lift it with your fingers. If nothing really pops up, just do a little more here, then you should be good. I think we're pretty good there. Okay, so we've got this all put together now. So we're good to go here. I'm going to stick this over to the side here. And now what I want to do is I want to take my interior fabric and I want to line it up right on top. Okay, and just line it up as best you can here. Okay, here we go. And now I want to take 2 pins and I'm going to pin them because I don't want this shifting around on me. So I'm just going to put a pin on both sides here, right towards the edges. And that's just going to hold my interior, my exterior, and the fusible fleece all together. Shay is asking, who made the fabric? Let's see, who made the fabric? The fabric is from, excuse me, it's called Holiday. Boy, have something in my throat there. Holiday Extravagance. Hold on. Let me open up the selvage and see if it says. No, that's all. It's ESKM. And it's called, I'll bring it over to the desktop so you can see it. So you see the selvage on there? ESKM. And it's Holiday Extravagance. Extravagance? I want to say extravaganza, but it's not. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very pretty fabric. It has a little bit of a shine to it. A little bit of like a almost metallic looking here. So very, very pretty. Very, very pretty here. And I've had it for a while sitting in my stash. So not too much left on the bolt, but I wanted to go ahead and use it up. And what a great way to do that by making some gift baskets. So definitely will use that. So I'm going to take another swivel here. Yeah, throat was needing it. Okay. You're so impatient with the fusing process. Yeah, you got to build that patience, because remember the heat. You have to be able to give the iron the ability to get the heat down past the fabric and into that fusible so that it can activate those little glue dots and actually adheres the two together. So you do have to be a little patient to get that going. Get that iron nice and hot. Make sure it's really hot before you start. That way you don't have to wait as much. And this just kind of, you know, keep going, starting at the center and working your way outwards. Okay, you'll be fine with that. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half right here. We've got this all pinned together and we want to just line this up here as best we can. Now, if you have any trimming or anything to do that's completely off, now little things like this tiny little 1/8 of an inch that's sticking out, I'm not worried about that because we are going to sew a 1/4 inch all the way around. So I'm not too worried about that. But if your circle is completely off, now's the time to kind of fix it, okay? So you'll go ahead and you will trim that if you need to. If not, go ahead and fold this in half, okay? And we're going to create a little box. So I want you to grab a smaller ruler, of which I have lost. I'll grab the big one, but it's no big deal. Really, you just want to do a little box here. So the idea is for you to create the box so that you can have a nice boxed bottom here, okay? And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and measure this, and then you're going to go ahead and cut this here, and you're going to cut this here on this end here, and you're going to have a nice square right here, and it's going to be this right here. What's left is going to be your boxed bottom. So however wide or narrow you want your bottom to be, that's what you have to think about when you're cutting this piece. So I would like my box bottom to be maybe about 4 inches, 5 inches top. So I have to look at how much I have here, which I have about 10.5 inches. So I can go ahead and fold this in half to find my center. Just kind of finger press that, and then I have to decide how big I want this to be. And so maybe I want it to be about 2 inches from the middle. That'll get me about a 4 inch. So maybe I'll go 2 1/4 on both sides, and that will get me just about 5 inches here. Okay, so this little piece here, if you want to make it a little bit wider, you can. I would just go ahead and I'm just going to go at about 2.5 inches. I think just make it nice and easy. I'm just going to do about 2.5 inches. Take my rotary cutter and I'm just going to cut here and here to make that little corner. Okay, that's all we're going to do. So let me just line this up a little bit better and then I'll go ahead and make the cut. Here we go. So let's do about 2.5 inches one way and the other way. So that's what we're cutting right there. So I'm going to go ahead and make that cut. And I'm using that large ruler. Let me see if I can grab the smaller one if I have it on top here. Yeah, this makes it a little bit easier. Oh my goodness. I have rulers all over the place because, you know, it's that time of the year. So your room is kind of messy. We have things everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead, line this up 2.5 inches. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut that here. So make sure you got that nice sharp blade because you're going to have to cut through all these layers. And then go ahead, make that cut, and then just test it to make sure it went through all of the layers. Now, if you don't want to fold it in half like this and you want to do it, you can do it the other way and not have to cut all the layers at once. And you can see here, most of it got cut. I have a tiny little piece here that didn't cut. So I'm just going to go back and just put a little pressure down. Couple little threads that are just being stubborn. There we go. Nice cut right there. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches. And then go ahead and cut. And make sure that I am squared. Okay. Most of it cut, little pieces here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Just want to be able to cut it. A little bit of some threads here and there. Okay. All right. So now we have a little bit of excess here that we did. And we're going to go ahead and take those pins off because we had that pin. So I'm going to reach in and grab those pins, take them off, and then I'm going to open this up. Okay. Now you should have your exterior fabric and your interior fabric facing down. Okay, so here's my exterior with my fusible fleece. I've got my interior fabric right sides together, and this is what it looks like so far. So a little bit awkward here. This is what it looks like. Okay, very simple. Now all we're going to do, go ahead, take our sewing machine. We're going to sew 1/4 inch all the way around this circle, and then do the same thing on this side. You do not need to sew the ends here, here, or here, because that's going to be sewn later. Okay, so go ahead and take your sewing machine and let's go ahead and sew this curve. Now this can be a little challenging for those that don't like to sew on the curve, right? So it's a little scary. Oh my goodness. I'm going to show you how easy it is. It's really not that bad. Let's bring Miss Molly over. We only have a few minutes, so I'm going to start it off, and then I'll show you the end. So we're going to grab the end here. Okay. Again, we've got our exterior with our fusible fleece and our interior fabric right sides together, so facing down. I've got this little guide here that I put in that comes in with my machine. So if you have a little guide, you can use that, something that you can bump up against. If not, take some painter's tape, stack it up, and that can be your little edge. Anything that you can use as a little edge. And then I'm going to go ahead, bring this down, and I'm going to rotate this fabric against this edge as I continue to sew. That's going to give me about 1/4 inch from that edge all the way around. So let's give that a try here. Okay. So you're going to start off nice and straight. Then you're going to start to continue to watch right here. My eyes are focused on the edge here, not on the needle. I'm looking at the edge to make sure that my curve is going to always be flush against my little guide here. So we're going to keep that going. And I am rotating the fabric. I'm kind of letting the feed dogs do the work for me. As long as I continue to watch this area here and bump this up against my edge, the feed dogs is doing all the work and pulling the fabric for me. So I don't have to worry about turning so much. I'm basically just letting the machine do the work for me, and I'm lining it up against the guide. And so just continue to watch that. Okay. If you get a little off, don't worry, just kind of jump right back in and adjust. And the great thing is that this doesn't need to be exactly perfect, so no worries, guys. Okay. Just continue to go all the way around. Then once you're about to finish your curve, it's going to line back up again. And then you're back where you started. And you can go ahead and take that off. And so you see, you've got your nice curve here. We'll cut off our threads. Okay. And so that's what you're going to do on one end. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So let's see if I can do this really quickly because we're running really low on time here. Now, if your fabric shifts a little bit on you, don't worry, you'll have the opportunity to clean all of that up in just a few minutes. So go ahead, use your fingernails, scratch the fabric, make sure it's nice and flat. Make sure you're doing this on a flat surface, okay? All right, and then go ahead and bring it over back to your sewing machine, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Here's the curve. See how this jumped up on me? I don't want that, but that's fine. I can still fix that. Just slow it down. Let it make that curve. There we go. And then you're back on track. Then you're back towards the end here. And there we are, all done. So we've got that nice curve. Now let's bring this over. And now that you have this all sewn into place, you're going to kind of reach in and you're going to turn this inside out, okay? Go ahead and pull both sides. And then you can give it a little bit of a press with your iron and just kind of use your fingers, or you can use a chopstick or anything that you need to kind of flatten that out. You can see that beautiful curve here. And back on this side, same thing. Last part is super simple to do. I would take this and go ahead and hit it with an iron. Make sure this is nice and pressed. Next thing you want to do, grab your edges here, fold this over, and go ahead and sew that. And then fold this one over, and you want to sew that. That's going to give you that nice overlap here on the edges. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Once you do that, and you have both of these sewn together, it's going to bring your fabric up. and you're going to have your beautiful basket. Okay, so all you need to do is just sew that side and we'll be all done. Okay, so we ran out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this piece up, and we'll do that tomorrow. So I'll leave this exactly the way it is and we'll finish this up tomorrow. But that's all you need to do, is just sew this piece right here and dabble a little bit on the top. I'll show you that tomorrow, but this is pretty much it. So this is a really fun project to do, and it's super simple. So tomorrow we'll put the finishing touches on this, but you should have enough, and I think you got the gist of it, to be able to make this on your own. Hope that you guys are able to make some with your own fabric stash. Okay guys, we're at the end of our hour yet again, and it just goes so fast. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I do have to run, but I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope you're able to get a little time in your craft room. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I will see you here again tomorrow, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye everyone.
So long for now, so you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.